Hey, what's up, everybody? We're back today, and we've got a guest that I've been wanting to talk to. He's one of the most exciting prospect on the western end of Canada, and he's gonna be fighting Zackery Powell in what is, in my opinion, one of the better fights that we'll get to see in 2021 in Canada. And it is the one and only Dario Sinagoga. How you doing, man?
Good man, very good. And
I'm really
yourself?
happy. I'm doing great. Like I said, a little froggy today. It's rainy out here. It's not a beautiful day, so I'm just chilling, enjoying the break of work.
Yeah,
But
nice.
yeah, man, I've been wanting to talk to you for a while, man, because I got questions. You're really an exciting prospect that sadly around here in Quebec and Eastern Canada, we didn't really get this the chance to see you develop because the BFL just got on UFC Fight Pass, and it was kind of hard for us to see those show basically out here in Quebec.
Yeah,
So now
yeah,
we've got hella people around here that saw your last performance because it was the first
yeah.
ever event on Fight Pass, and like they're wondering, man, who is that guy? Who is Dario Sinagoga? Where did he come from? Why is he here? Why is he that good? So
I
we're
am
here to answer all
here.
these questions, man.
I'm here now. I'm here now.
Yeah. So were you born in Ireland?
Born in Ireland. Yeah, yeah. I'm 50-50 blood though. I'm half Irish, half Italian. My father's Italian from Lazio, and my mother's from Dublin in Ireland. I grew up there, and I came to Vancouver over to the West Coast here about 7 years ago to continue my career as an amateur and see how far the rabbit hole goes.
Okay. So did you start to fight back there?
Yes, I was fighting back home. I was fighting for about 5 years, training for about 5 years, and competing for about three and a half, maybe. I was training for a while, and my coach was always edging me to go fight, compete. And I was like, nah, man, I don't need to. I don't really want to do that. I had a full-time job. Um, my parents have restaurants and takeaways back home, so I was always working. And yeah, it was just more for health and fitness. And then eventually my coach said, I'm putting you in a fight. I started fighting. My first fight, got in there against a guy who was more of a wrestler than a striker. I ended up getting on top of him in the first round, and I won by ground and pound. And then I was hooked. I was like, okay, when's the next time we're doing this again? That was a start, man. That was a start. It found me. It found me.
Oh yeah, man. That's a cool way to start, though, man. I know so many fighters. They're like they started to train, and like 6 months in, they're harassing their coaches. Like, when are you gonna put me in a fight? When am I gonna
Yeah,
fight amateur? You just like
yeah.
stumbled on it, and now, man, it's kind of
That's
working
it.
out. Let's say.
Yeah, I'm doing all right. Doing all right.
Yeah, so then you came here. I saw. I know it's tough to follow the amateur record around here, but I saw you fought a little bit in Washington State, fought
Mhm.
for BFL too. You won the amateur belt,
Yes.
and then you made the jump to the pros in 2019, where you fought 4 times six. Then your three first fights, they were decisions against good guys, really, really dominating performances.
Yes.
What can you tell us about these fights? Because they're the fights we didn't see, basically.
Yes. Yeah. So where it all started to kind of where the big transition started was when I was fighting down in America, down in Edmonds with Charlie Combat Sports. They have an event down there called AX, the one you mentioned, and I had fought a guy down there. I lost by decision. I went back down and fought a few times and got a few victories, and so did the other guy that had beaten me, Jay White. And then they brought us back down together. The welterweight title had been vacated, so they brought us back down. And I'll always say, like, if you beat me once, you won't beat me again. So I went back down there and I fought him a second time. I won by decision, but it was clearly in my favor. I dominated the fight. And then when I came back to Vancouver with the belt, people in Battlefield were like, hey, who's this guy going down there from Vancouver winning titles down the States? So even though when I first arrived here in 2014, I said to myself, I got 1 year, I want to be on this Battlefield show. I was a little bit cocky, a little bit gung-ho. I was like, I traveled all the way across the other side of the globe. I'm like, I'm here to fucking get it. Let's get it. But it took me 4 years to get on the show. But with that title win down in America, they gave me an opportunity here to fight for Battlefield. And that went very well. I got a TKO against a pretty legit guy. He was a brown belt. I don't really train in the gi like I used to, so and I never got belted. So I'm like a zero stripe white belt, you know. But when in MMA, it's not just about the one discipline. So yeah, I won that fight, and that's what got me my professional contract. First fight was very, very difficult. It was a very intense time for me. Obviously, the transition between amateur and pro, I felt ready to go. I felt like I was good to go. But the guy that I fought, Daniel Richards, had the amateur lightweight, the 155 title, and I had the welterweight title. So both of us vacated our amateur titles to go pro, and we met at 165. It was actually him who didn't want to go 155, strangely enough. But anyway, we met at 165. And yeah, it was like, you know, both of us clean slates. We wanted to start off our professional career as best as we could, and I went out there with giving myself no opportunity but to win. And yeah, it was a good beating. It was a good brawl, and it seemed to actually put him. It seemed to stop him completely. He hasn't fought since, so I think he's coaching more now, and you know, maybe we'll see him again. But that fight was very, very difficult for me. He knocked me down in the first round. If anybody wants to see these fights, by the way, you can go onto YouTube. They're on YouTube. If you just Google my name, you'll see them. So yeah, he dropped me in the first round with a big hook, but I got up off the ground right away, and I kept fighting, and you know, by the end of the fight, I dominated more than he had, and it was a good start to the professional career. Second fight, I went out. To be honest, my head game wasn't 100% for that fight, but I got in there and I got the job done. It wasn't the prettiest of performances. It wasn't my best performance for sure, but I got the job done. I got the decision, and then my third fight, that was a very interesting one. I got caught in a guillotine in the first round, and no joke, I couldn't breathe, man. I couldn't breathe. Face was turning purple. I was foaming at the mouth, but I wasn't going to go out like that. In my head, I was like, not like this, man, not like this. So I managed to fight my way out of that, and you know, control the rest of the fight and got the win there. And then my last fight, then everybody's seen it.
Yeah, that Osborne fight is the first fight I saw you in, because if I remember well, that was like the BFL 65 card or something like that.
That's right.
And there was one of my good friend, Jade Masson Wong, who came down to Vancouver. She fought Jamie Lynn for the belt.
Oh wow, night. Yeah, she fought Jamie.
There were there were plenty people
was an awesome fight.
Yeah, that was a really, really good fight. That was a good card overall, except maybe like I think there was one fight, maybe like the Achilles fight. He like kind of took it lighter in that title defense. It was a 5-round decision. But all the other title fights, I remember Jared Revel just submitted a poor guy. Jamie Lynn, I think she finished it with a body kick that was like absolutely beautiful. So that was a great event, and I saw you on that card, and I was like, damn. He almost got cut in the first one, but then just like dominated the fight, just took him back. And that's at that moment that you became like a name that I wanted to look at. That I'm gonna follow that guy. That guy from Ireland, man, he seems like he's legit. And then,
thank you.
Like you just said, your fight after you fight Craig Shintani, who is like an established top 15 Canadian lightweight for a long time at Ella fights, way more fights than you as a pro. And man, just came in, got him against the fence in a weird position, and just let your hands go and shut the lights out clean for first pro finish, man. How did you feel after you just got that finish? Because we've been seeing in your game that he's got potential. He can finish some fights, he can do some, but it just didn't materialize in your first fight. And then you just got that finish, first round, big performance. Now everybody in Canada knows your name. You're a top 15 guy. So how did you feel after that fight, like getting that finish?
It was funny because but my coach has always been saying to me, like, you know, yeah, man, you got heavy hands. You know, when you try to look for the knockout, you don't get it. He was like, just play the game. You know, play the game. You know, throw crisp and accurate, and you know, the knockouts will come. And that's why when I won the fight, I turned around to my coach and I was like, holy shit, I fucking did it. As in, like, you know, you were right. You know, we did it. So that was a big success for us. At the debriefing, it was like, you know, I always get debriefed after all the fights, and that was a good one. You know, there was a lot of positivity, even though I wasn't expecting to take a step back off that fight. And he did put me on the ground. You know, it was just like a puzzle. I just figured my way back up off the ground, and I think talking to the promoter 2 days ago, he was telling me that my accuracy for that fight, I think it was up in the high 80s. So everything that I threw was like on point. If you notice any of the strikes, all of my hands, like for the knockout, they were all pinpoint accuracy, which I think was the big deal. You know, it wasn't thrown with power; it was just more speed and accuracy. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
for
it was
sure.
awesome. Like getting that first round win. Like a lot of my fights are brawls, and they can get get very bloody. And if you've seen the interview afterwards, my family are always telling me, "Come on, man, don't be getting into those every single time. You know, you have no brain cells left." So it was a real success for me to be able to go out there and get my job done, and have an easy day at the office. But we train hard so we can fight easy. Every day, like you can see now, I got a black eye, I'm bumped up, bruised up. Um, this is where these are the hard days, so that the fight can be, you know, hopefully in our favor.
Yeah, and the thing I like about the BFL and the way like that they book fights is that if you look at like your first fights and you just look at the records, like who's that guy, like O guy, another O guy, but all these guys like they're amateur champions that have been built up by BFL who have fought on these BFL shows as amateurs and then turn pro. So I feel like by farming guys that way, you kind of get guys that are like more comfortable in the BFL cage and like more impressive that their record could suggest. Because like, let's
Yes.
say you're a 4-0 guy, man, and already you've been like in the rankings, you've been proven that you're a prospect to watch at that early records. And we've seen lots of guys from BFL. Let's say Achilles is only 7-0, but everybody's like put that guy in the UFC. Same thing with Cole Smith before he signed. So I feel like the BFL way of booking prospects kind of leads you to the UFC earlier, I believe. So because you see lots of guys with like not big records, but they've been having success and all. But
Yes.
now let's talk about that fight because man, like I've been saying in the beginning, that's a fight to get excited for. Zackery Powell, another 4-0 prospect, probably a guy that has your reputation, but out east. Like he's the guy to watch. He's the guy that has come out like out wrestled everybody, dominated everybody, has submitted like
Yes.
most of his opponents. So now you're
Yes.
you're fighting probably like the biggest fight, the biggest prospect fight
It's
that
like East
I
versus West.
yes, that I believe the winner is gonna be fighting for a title soon because I don't believe Achilles is gonna stay really much longer in BFL. So I believe the winner of that fight, is in route for a title. So what do you think about this matchup?
Yeah, Zackery Powell is the perfect opponent for me right now because like everybody would be looking at me like I'm more of a stand-up fighter. They know I got heavy hands. They know I like to bang. So I'm not afraid of stepping into the fire and staying in the fire. A lot of guys they kind of move around. I'm happy to sit and bang if they want to. So um, with having Zachary as my opponent now, I gotta change. I gotta mix it up. I gotta make sure that my tactics are the best they can be against him. And coming up against somebody who's such a wrestler and comes from a significantly good wrestling gym, um, it's exactly what I need. You know, every day we come to the gym, we push some of our attributes up high, and grappling and jiu-jitsu and wrestling has always been a passion of mine. So when I started fighting, I did boxing, kickboxing. But when I began to do jiu-jitsu, that's when I really started to like my brain was just like, oh yeah, look at this shit. This is the way to go. Everything that we do, we try to get somebody in a position where they either can't breathe or we're trying to break a bone. I'm like, fuck, this is awesome shit. Um, and yeah, it just blew my mind. So that's always been the grappling side of things. Have always been a passion of mine, and the stand-up was always kind of a natural thing that came to me. So I'm happy to be able to focus on more grappling and doing a lot of wrestling. I have Stuart Cooper here, and I have Jonathan Hutchinson, and obviously my head coach Ryan Diaz. But the two boys, Stuart and Jonathan, those guys are like they're monsters, you know. So having those guys to train with every day and put me through the ringer, I'm not worried. I'm more excited about anything just to try out my new skills and to shine.
And since you talk about it, what's the training looking like? Because man, it's so complicated right now in Canada. It's really like province by province. I was speaking to
Hmm.
Lucas Neufeld yesterday, and gyms just closed in Alberta. Here in Quebec, man, they've been open like maybe 1 week this year. So we're kind of fucked. In Ontario, where
Yeah,
Zackery at, it's a whole other thing. I don't even know what was the setup back there. So I
yeah.
wanted to know back west in BC, what's it looking like in the gym? What are the kind of restrictions, if any?
Same kind of restrictions as everywhere else, I believe. You know, we don't have a curfew like over on the east side. I got a brother in Montreal, and they're still
Yeah,
on a curfew and stuff. But we're lucky enough
yeah.
that in BC, the kids. So we have like I instruct in Diaz combat sports also, as well as I train. So anybody beneath the age of 20 can still train. So we don't have any adult classes. We got kids classes on, but you know the gym is taking over like that. You know, I got a couple of clients that keep me taking over and uh, help me afford my bills. But yeah, it's pretty tough when it comes to training and stuff like that. I have my handful of teammates that are here. Like there's literally like 4 or 5 of us, and you know we're all together in the bubble. We work together. We all just go home every day and come back here every day. So I have my select few that I can train with, and I'm very very lucky to have Stuart Cooper here and Jonathan Hutchinson and the couple of guys that are here in my family that are helping me.
Of
You
course,
know,
of course.
we get the work done. You know,
Yeah,
we get it done.
but like legally, can you do it, or is it like because
Well, the thing is, we're all working together. So we're all instructors here in the gym. So for us, we're all kind of beside each other anyway, teaching
yeah, yeah.
classes. So these are the guys that I train with as well. Like I said, it's the bubble.
Okay.
It's my bubble.
Oh man, that makes me want to move west. Fuck, because
But
like man,
it is like Willy Wonka's chocolate factory, though. You don't see anybody come in, don't see anybody go out. You know what I mean? It's just us in here. That's it.
yeah, man. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, my coach is he's got a job now. Like
Oh,
he just found a job as like a like correctional officer. Not really, because like it's youth detention center, so
okay,
close
okay.
to home. Because my coach, he was in the military before, and also he
Oh,
was
okay.
like a military police. So he's got like all the skills he needed to
The
basically
credentials
be
for it,
there.
yeah.
And man, he was going crazy at home. And like we just like out here, like you said, we've got a curfew. Like they're encouraging our neighbors. Like if you see people at your neighbor's house, call the police, because we can't I can't have like let's say my mom at home. I can't have my grandfather at home. I can't, because we don't live at the same place, and we
Yes.
have the right to have like zero person outside of your bubble with you at
Yes.
home.
It's
And
your
people can
household and
call.
that's it.
Yeah, man. And like we've seen like the cases spike down, but like the government here, it's like I don't know, man. It's they're so conservative, and like the way that they're treating the virus, they're like, oh no, we won't stop any of the measures until everybody's vaccinated. Because like they opened and closed and opened and closed too much time, like the restaurants, the gyms. So they're
Yes.
just like, nah,
Yes.
fuck it, we're just closing everything down. And when we've got 70% immunity, blah blah blah, now that we're gonna reopen stuff.
They let it
So like man, if I'm getting so fat at the moment because I'm just
go.
eating at home, and I'm basically able to roll like once or twice a week, because I know homies that they got mats and they stay
Yes.
like, let's say, on the border of town. So I can just go there and they don't got too much neighbors. So we just like roll
Yes.
and sneak out of the house. And
Yeah.
oh man,
Yeah.
I did some jujitsu today. Whoa. So man,
Yeah. Yeah. It's
it's
like fucking staging a revolution or something.
yeah, exactly. Like we're fucking criminals because like we want to choke each other out. But I'm happy to see that it's a little easier back there. I was speaking with Tristan Connolly at a point.
Yeah.
Because I just wanted to come, man. I just wanted to come to Vancouver, but like, sadly enough for me, I never got laid off work, so I just couldn't come here and say, "Hey, fuck work, I'm out."
I gotta
So
go. Yeah.
yeah, so one thing that I wanted to ask, that's the spicy stuff. Um, Zackery Powell been like kind of implying that he wanted to fight you before, but either BFL or your management were kind of protecting you from him. So I was wondering, did you take issue with that? And like, what do you got to say to that?
You know what? Before I even knew who Zackery Powell was, because I got sent the Canadian rankings for lightweight, and I was like, oh shit, there's a Zackery Powell, because on Instagram after I won that fight with all the, the media attention, let's say, uh, he posted something up on my page saying, or tagged me in a post on MMA Empire, saying something like, "Oh, are we going to fight, or is Battlefield protecting you?" And I think I posted something back to him, just like I said, I had no idea who he was. I just thought it was just somebody fucking taking a shot. And fair dues to him, I didn't know who he was, but he's next in line. And when I seen that, I think I messaged back saying something like, "You get your people to talk to my people before you make a fool of yourself online." I had no idea who he was. And then I got the ranking sent to me, and I said, "Oh fuck, okay, so he's the guy next after me." I was like, "Well, let's hope I get to fight him." So yeah, after a couple of weeks, then they locked in the fight, and it was with him, and I was like, "All right, cool. I'm just going to work my way up the rankings, one kid at a time."
Man, it's gonna be great. And that card is stupid, man. Like
Yeah,
all the
yeah.
fights, like the Kyron Dayon fight, the Ali against Series City fight, like your fight. Ah, man, it's just.
Big time. I'm very excited to see Dayan fight, man. I trained with
Oh
him
yeah.
in the past couple of years. I used to train with those guys over in Universal MMA on the North Shore. Like Dayan is like his striking, his accuracy, how composed he is, and how he stages his attack is he's in the league of his own. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. That's the one. As soon as I'm done fighting, I'll be out of the cage and I'll be turning around staring at it again because he's in right after me. So yeah, I'll hopefully give him a high five before he goes in, and I'll be very excited to watch that fight. That guy is, like I said, he's in a league of his own, and everybody can learn something from him.
Okay, so that means you're the last fight before the title fights.
That's correct.
That's the way to go. That's the way to go. I'm glad. I'm
Yeah.
really, really glad.
Well, they
So
know that my
man,
fights are always going to be a good show. So
yeah.
yeah.
Oh no, of course. It's gonna be a huge card, UFC Fight Pass and stuff. So I was just wondering, are your parents are they still back home in Ireland?
Yeah, my parents actually came over for the last fight, not the one that's just gone, but the Justin Osborne was the fight they came over for. And they were here. It was the first time they had seen me fight for probably 6 years. They had never seen me fight as a professional. So, but they're back home. They're actually, I say home is Ireland, but because my father's Italian, my mother's Irish, we got houses and family on both sides of the water. So my parents are actually in Italy at the moment. So yeah, I get all their love and support, and yeah, they'll come over and they'll be watching more fights as soon as the lockdown is done. But yeah,
Yeah, man.
family's back home in Ireland. I'm in a family of four boys. I'm the second oldest. I got one older brother, two younger. My oldest brother and my youngest brother are both working together in the family businesses. We got restaurants back home in Ireland, in Bray and Wicklow, just south of Dublin. And my youngest brother actually just came to Canada that February that I fought Justin Osborne. He came over with my parents, and he's actually living in Montreal right now. So, yeah, that's how I knew what was happening over that side of the world with all the restrictions and stuff, because he's always talking to me and giving out to me about what's going on and how everything's so limited. And yeah,
Oh man,
a lot of his jobs, he's got 2-3 jobs, because some jobs just close and just don't do anything with the staff. You just tell them, okay, you're done. So yeah, it's a big struggle, but it's great to have my brother here. It's always good to be close to family. I miss them an awful lot.
yeah, no, of course. With all these travel restrictions and stuff, it makes it kind of tough to to be able to see your family. But
And the
man,
distance, man. You're looking at
yeah, of course.
like the guts of $1,000 Canadian to get home and back again. It's
Man, just
crazy.
I was looking at it, just like flying from like Vancouver to Montreal or Vancouver to Toronto. It's crazy, man, how
If
much money it costs.
Yeah, if you're over on the east side and you want to fly to Ireland, it costs you like, I checked only the flights the other day, $450, let's say. And then when you want to fly from Vancouver, you got to go Vancouver, Toronto, say Amsterdam or something for a stopover, but it's double the price. It's like
Yeah.
$700-800 just for that West Coast to East Coast flight.
Yeah, it's it's crazy how much money it costs just to go like in the same fucking country, man.
Well, it's a big country. It's
Yeah,
a big
no, of
country.
course, it's a big country, of course, but
I
man,
drove across it last year. Yeah, myself and my girlfriend, we took, what did we take? I think it was 95 days of off-roading. We had a tent on the roof, a Magdalena tent on the roof, and a big Chevy Bison, and we drove all the way across the country. We got a brand new car, compliments of her family, obviously, because I'm a starving artist, and we put 30,000 kilometers on it in like 2-3 months.
ah
So
man, but
yeah,
that's really cool with the
it's
tent
awesome.
and all.
Yeah, oh, it
Yeah,
was great, man. It was great. Yeah. It
yeah,
was
because
great to see the East
I
Coast, man. Gaspésie, all that area, man. Fuck, beautiful.
oh yeah, yeah, man, it's beautiful back there. It's really and it's so much different from around here because I'm not really like in Montreal. I'm like, man, let's say 15, 20 minutes removed from it, like on the South Shore.
Hmm.
So, but it's urban though, like around here. So as soon as
Yeah,
you leave like the Montreal area,
yeah,
except for Quebec City, you don't got any more urban area in Quebec basically. So you can
yeah.
go all the way to Gaspésie, and man, it's really cool out there. People they're different, they're way different, but they're so happy when you come over and like go see
Yes,
they're part of the country, man.
absolutely. So beautiful over there, man. And then we went up to Tadoussac after. We came back up and up the other side of
Yeah.
the St. Lawrence River and up to Tadoussac with all the whales and oh man, so beautiful, man. Like Canada is is probably the most beautiful country in the world. I've been around Southeast Asia and I've been around a lot of the European countries and everywhere is unique, but Canada has just got that vast wilderness where you know I can imagine it's like the safari, when you're driving around the truck and you see the lions and tigers, it's like you're the stranger, you know.
Yeah,
So
no, of course, because every year I go on a fishing trip, and it's called Parc de la Vérandrie. It's like let's say between Western Quebec and Eastern Ontario, but up north. And
okay,
like basically when I get there, it's like 4 hours from here up north, and when I get there, we get into like a road that's in the woods. That's not even like made of pavement, like it's made of rock and sand, and like
yeah,
so
yeah.
and
You got to air down your tires to go on the road.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And we drive 100 kilometers in that, and then we take like another small road for maybe like 5 or 10 minutes, and then we come to a spot that my great uncle used to own, but he sold to a guy who exploits it for hunting because there are lots of
Okay.
mooses back there and all kind
Oh,
of
okay.
stuff. But like
Yeah,
on
yeah.
that territory, there are like 15 lakes, and he's got small camps near each lakes. And man, we just go there and like I'm not shitting you, man. One year it was getting kind of late, and I was like, I was arranging fish outside because we came fishing kind of late, and we wanted to eat the fish that we just caught. So I
Yeah.
was like putting in fillets and stuff. And man, I heard a wolf like just the other way from the lake, and the lake it was one of the smallest lake on the territory. So, like the wolf must have been 300 meters away from me. I could hear it like so clearly, and I was like, man, it's like it's beautiful out here. We see like the stars, they're so much closer and all that
Yeah.
stuff. But man, there are like wolves and bears
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
stuff that you don't want to get lost out there because
Yeah.
man,
Yeah.
shit can go crazy. So it's
Yeah.
almost like the safari, but no lions. We just got hella big bears and wolves and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah, totally, totally. Yeah, man, and that's it. Like, you don't want to be going out there with just a fishing rod. You got to have a shotgun on your back too. I think. You know,
Oh yeah, man, you
not
gotta be
not
ready
not
for
not not
sure.
to not to not to actually put any of the animals down, but just as a safety. You take a shot or two of that up in the air, and they'll run.
Yeah, man.
You hope.
The owner from there, he told us once that he was going down the only road that there is to go up north, and there was like a wolf in the middle of the street, and he had to stop his truck, and he was trying to like let the horn go and do tough to scare him, and like the wolf was just staring at him. He was huge, and like it was not like he was taking his time, man. He was gonna have to
Yeah,
wait for the wolf to get out before he
yeah.
continue his way, because he
He
was
was
not
looking
like
at him
getting.
like, "This is my house, motherfucker.
Yeah, yeah.
This is
What the
my
fuck are you
house."
gonna do, man? You get out that truck. I'm just eating you, and there's like 12 other of me in the woods, ready
Yeah,
to snack on you. So,
yeah.
but yeah. So, man,
That's so
I'm
beautiful,
gonna
man.
I'm gonna let you do your things, and I'm really really happy we had the chance to speak. It was great, and
Yeah,
can't wait
good to
for that
chat to you.
fight, man. Can't
Yeah,
wait for
man, it's
that
going to be
fight.
an awesome card, great cards. And a lot of good fighters here, man. It's just really good to see the wheels of MMA for Canada getting back to rotation because, you know, a year in between your fights, you got to shake off the rust, you know what I mean? And there's only so much you can do until you start getting pissed off. So it's really nice to go from one fight to another fight. And, the last fight was a big victory for me, and it was somewhat of an easy day in the office. But I always take my next opponent to be my hardest challenge. And I take it very seriously, and I always respect my opponents. And you know, we're all out there fighting. You know what I mean? Entry level for a fighter is be tough, so we're all tough at this level. So it's never easy. I don't expect it to be easy. So we train for the worst, and we expect the best.
Of course, man. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, my man. And whenever,
Cheers,
like,
Vader.
if after that fight you got anything like you want to say or you want to announce or just chat anything, just hit me up. You always got a spot on the podcast, my man.
Sounds good, brother. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Just want to give a
Thanks a lot.
shout out before I
Yeah,
go
of course.
to my nutritional coach who's been helping me an awful lot. Sean Wicks, the diabetic fighter on Instagram. He's been helping me an awful lot with my last couple of weigh-ins. And my last one in particular, we seem to lock everything down. So huge thank you to that guy. He's been killing it, and he's a huge part of my team. So I just wanted to mention it.
Yeah, of course. Thanks a lot, my man.
Cheers, Vader. All the best, bro.
Hey, what's up, everybody? We are back today with a very, very interesting interview. Very excited to do it because you may know that BFL MMA is basically putting on one of the best cards I've ever seen on Canadian MMA soil. I've been looking at like the fights being announced left and right, and like this card is gonna be amazing. And I was telling to myself, we need to cover it. We need to cover this. We need to speak to the fighters that are going to be involved. And one of the first fight that was announced for that card, a fight that is being built as like a rivalry fight, a people's main event fight.
Yeah,
It's Lucas Neufeld and Josh Kwiatkowski. And we've got the wild thing, Lucas Neufeld, with us
Oh,
today. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
I'm so happy, was just saying, to have you on to speak about like that fight, that matchup. But first, as you may or may not know, I stay in Quebec, so we are really really far away from you guys. Like the Alberta fighter we know is Jesse Arnett, and that's about it. So
Fair enough.
I wanted to know for the people that they never saw you fight, that it's gonna be their first Lucas Neufeld experience, because like it's on Fight Pass now, everybody can see it. How would you describe yourself to them?
I mean, it's cliche to say exciting, but I go for finishes. I only know it's as one thing, and that's a fight. You know, obviously there's strategy and there's technique and all that involved, but no, I go for the finish. That's what people want to see in an MMA fight.
Of course, and I think you're right on that one, because as I was saying before we went on air, I was just watching myself some Lucas Neufeld fights, and man, crazy guy! Like the Cleve Bentley fight, you just ran after him, got
Thank you.
taken down. You were elbowing the guy from bottom, like zero fucks given,
Yeah, you're
and
not safe.
like
You're not safe anywhere with me.
and he
It's
couldn't
true.
and he couldn't match the pace. Like he's good, he's a good grappler. He was having some
Yeah.
moments, he was looking to
Mhm.
pass, he was looking to do stuff, and he just like couldn't match the pace. And you just went back up, tagged him a little, took his back, choked him
Thank
out.
you. Thank you.
So really exciting fight, really exciting performance. And I was
Mhm.
looking at the Matichuk fight too, and pretty much the same thing, a complete crazy display. So really
Well,
really
thank you.
excited. Yeah, I'm really excited for that one. You may see it. I'm really really excited for this fight. But I was wanting to know, you fought Bentley early 2020 for a fight night, and
Yeah.
then you may or may not know that the whole world kind of turned upside down right here in Quebec, we're still under curfews and stuff. I know Alberta is kind of smoother, so I was wanting to know how did that rest of 2020 go for you? Like, were you able to put in some good time in the gym and do stuff like that?
I I thought I had momentum from that fight. I was super excited, and then the COVID thing started happening, and everything started shutting, like gyms too. So we all definitely had a break, like at least 6 weeks or more. Um, and yeah, we've been kind of battling restrictions this whole for about 13 months now. Like gyms are closed right now, this very moment. So it means like garage workouts, at home workouts, and yeah, it's not great. Like I mean, I'm hopeful. I'm very optimistic. Like I'm always working at getting better and stuff. But us Canadian fighters, we need to compete. Like there's very little opportunity right now, and it's too. For me, it was too hard to go to the States, like to try and travel there, take the 2 weeks off when you get back, that kind of stuff, the isolation stuff, like that wasn't really an option. So it's great that Canada's kind of moving back into competition, into sports, but I think we need to value health a lot more. I think we need to value people taking care of their own health a lot more, but maybe that's another conversation. Sorry.
Yeah, no, don't worry, man. I like that conversation because, man, right out here is crazy. Like, I know you're in Alberta and like now you got gyms closing. We read the news, like we're seeing Alberta like adding some restrictions, but man, to be honest, I'm looking at your restrictions and I'm like, fuck, I need to go to Alberta, man. I need to get the fuck out of here, man. We've been having a curfew.
That's bizarre.
A curfew at 8 p.m. and when we were like good enough, they put it back to like 9:30 p.m. The gyms, like they basically been open 6 weeks last summer, and they opened it back up maybe 1 week after Christmas this year, and they just shut it back down because there was like one gym in Quebec that's not even an MMA gym, not even combat sports related, just like normal gym. Like there was, man,
like
maybe like 500 case of COVID linked to one gym because like they
no.
So they just shut every single gym down. There was like, we told you that there was going to be COVID in those gyms and you just proved it. So they should just shut every gym down. So basically, if I want to roll, I need to have a friend with mats, and we can't even have people at home. I know you guys are like maybe, I think 10 people or less.
Maybe outside, 10 people outside. I don't know, man.
Yeah, here, like basically, if there's somebody at home, you can get a ticket. The ticket is $1,500.
Wow.
And they're telling people like, hey, if you see like some parties at your neighbor's place, don't worry, call the police. They're gonna handle it. So like they're encouraging
trying
people
to get us to
snitch.
turn on each other.
Yeah, exactly. So. So that's like that's crazy.
Stitches.
Yeah, people out here, like we've got exactly. We've got the Johan Lennes out here who's been able to fight for CFFC, but the poor guy, like he basically owns a gym with his coach, and he's not even supposed to go there, and he can't even bring people there to train. So the poor guy's been like, he's going to fight for CFFC belt, and I'll know when's the last time he sparred. Like basically,
had a real session, right?
Yeah, exactly. With coaches, with like people helping you with bodies. That I think that's one of the most important thing. And because man, when you're fighting, you all know how it goes. You need to do shark things. You need to have fresh opponents against you. So you always it's tough.
Unless you're Diego Sanchez, then you're good.
You just got to be self-aware.
But,
But
no, the rest of us need camps. We need people motivating us, pushing us. Because we give up, we quit on ourselves. We all give up on ourselves. That's why you need good people to surround you saying, no, you ain't quitting. You're going to keep going. Like that's in MMA, it's obviously maybe a stronger example than other things in life, but we need people around us to motivate us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because
going
through training camp is it's tough. A training camp is like the toughest part. They always say fighting is the cool part. You got to put the training in, put the hours in. So if you got to do this like by yourself or with one person, man, it must be so tough. Like
It
honestly,
gets dull. No, I've got a couple people. We keep our little circle small. Few good guys. That we get together. We're pushing. I'm staying ready. I'm getting ready for this fight, man. I'm gonna kick ass. Dude, I'm check. All right, we're doing okay. No, but it's tough. Like you're saying, like the group class, the jiu-jitsu stuff, the wrestling. You need, and you need more influence. You need more mentors. You need more that kind of stuff. So it sucks. It's been tough. That's all I have to say. But I'm happy we're moving forward. Right. This event, this
yeah,
fight.
finally.
How sick is this fight gonna be? Have you watched any of Josh's fights? Very similar style to mine. I have a feeling like we're just gonna fight. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
Of
no, for
course,
sure.
an MMA match, but he's got heavy hands. I don't know if you watch his fight, but he likes to throw the leather. He likes to stomp of the feet. But yeah, I mean, I'll be definitely putting him on his back. I'll be doing all that kind of stuff. I don't want to give too much away, but yeah.
Yeah, no, and I'm sure we can prepare like for a fight that's gonna go everywhere. Like basically, you both guys, like you just said, you're all comfortable. Like you can strike. You know how to strike for prolonged time. He does too. You've been submitting guys left and right, like pretty much on your records, and like you've been submitting guys with guillotines. Like you can pull a slick guillotine. You can just
I know.
take the back.
Thank you.
You can so it's gonna be really, really an awesome fight. And man, before that, I just wanted to know because I
These
know
people they give me their neck. Sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, no, of course, but I
That's
wanted
what
to
it
know
is.
because you know,
I'm not. Go ahead.
yeah, because MMA it's really different than boxing and most other combat sports because like people they lose, okay, and sometimes you can guess like the best experience in those losses. Sometimes we've seen fighters just go out there, lose a fight, and they become completely different monsters after it. So I wanted to know, you had an experience when you went to the USA, you went to Vegas, you fought a guy that he's now in the UFC basically, and he pretty much slammed the fuck out of a dude in his first fight. So I wanted to know about that experience when you fought Jordan Levitt, and what did that fight bring to your whole MMA game?
I'll never stop learning because of that fight. Like I'll never get that taste out of my mouth. Going to Vegas was awesome, and I definitely thought it was like my time. Like I was gonna, propel forward after this kind of thing, and I just got stopped dead in my tracks, with a huge learning curve from a really good wrestler. I just learned massive different strategies in a fight, like not fighting. That's one. But no, it's made me evolve my wrestling even to this day. Like I'll never forget the taste of that one.
Yeah, and I think it's an important step because like first this guy's bigger than you. Like I think he's fighting at 55 in the UFC.
Yeah,
and like you know now the level of the big American wrestler that, like you said, is going to go there to win, not really to fight you, to go in, to get into like a super entertaining fight for people. He's just out there to win, get a paycheck, get his record up, and move on with his life. So now you know these guys, like you know what you can do to maneuver around that type of style. And sometimes like it's the guys like you that get the best fight out of these guys sometimes. But like I'm pretty sure it's not going to be a problem against Josh, like, to be quiet.
Thank you. No, I'm ready to take him out in every corner of the cage.
So. Is there something between like you guys? Because from the outside, I know it's kind of being booked like as a rivalry bout, but you two guys, I spoke once to Josh. He's a cool guy. You look like a very cool guy too.
Thank you.
Like I wanted to know, is there like some bad blood, or is just really
definitely no bad blood. You could say rivalry, but it's just one of those fights that needs to happen, right? It's immovable object, unstoppable force. They are going to meet up. we will see that wall crumble or something. You know, like it's and truly, no, we're actually respectful of each other. You know, we might throw some back and forths here, but that's just to send motivation back and forth. We want a good opponent across the cage, the both of us. But yeah, no, I'm super excited. The fans are going to love this. I'm glad you said the people's main event. I love that. I'll take that title all day.
Oh yeah,
But
man.
yeah, no, I thoroughly expect to finish. I'm like is like we touched on earlier about the kind of isolation fight camps. I'm still putting massive amounts of adversity in front of me. You know, I'm still every single day making the training way harder than than the fight will be. Um, and that's how I know that Josh doesn't stand a chance on June 5th.
Man, I'm so excited. You don't know how much I'm excited for that card. I had two other things to ask you before I let you go and move on with your stuff. First one is it's your BFL debut. Okay, you never fought for that promotion first, but now it's on UFC Fight Pass. It's becoming since TKO left. TKO was in Quebec. It left. It didn't like pan out really well. So UFC Fight Pass, they've decided that they wanted to have some Canadian content, so they went for BFL and for Unified MMA. So it's gonna be your first time on that platform where, like, you've got
Oh,
eyes on you, and like you've been saying, that fight on that card, it
thank you.
sticks out because it needed to happen. It's the 5-1 guy, the 5-2 guys, the best prospects in that division, because like featherweight in Canada, it's wide open right now. You don't get many guys with like huge records, huge amount of experience. So I feel like any guy who wins this fight or gets a good performance in this fight and then moves basically for the title shot for that promotion, I believe they're gonna get lots of eyes on him. Like, so I wanted to know for you, what does that represent? Like the opportunity to be on Fight Pass, to maybe have the eyes of the people that you're looking to impress, that are gonna be looking at you.
Well, thank you. That's huge freaking honor. Well, first of all, I have to say that I don't think I'm fighting on BFL anymore. This is super odd. I think I'm fighting for BTC, which is another Canadian promotion, but it will be in Vancouver and it will be against Josh Kwiatkowski. It'll be the very next night. Sorry, it's just something that happened behind the scenes.
Oh yeah, phone setup because my old shit was fucking up. But like you've been saying, now you're fighting on BTC, right?
Right. As far as I know, that's the contract I've signed.
Okay, no man. Like I get why. I think there's some backstage like shenanigans behind that. Between promoters, I believe.
I believe as well, but the important thing is that this fight is still happening. It's amazing. The MMA gods did allow it, so it will be carrying forth. Wild Thing still facing off with the Juggernaut. It's gonna be madness.
Of course, and BTC is cool too. I like Mr. Rob Vevers, and like they're in Ontario most of the time, so I know them. Like they're closer to me than like Vancouver and Western Canada. So I know they're good people with like good intentions of putting on like real good fight cards. And you must be like one of like top 3 or 2 fights on that card, right? Like if not co-main, you're.
I don't know yet. I haven't. Oh. Well, I appreciate that, man. Thank you. I hope to be fighting later in the card. You know, that's always the goal, right? Become the main event. You know, hopefully co-main event. You know, epic performance. Maybe they'll have me back for some more. You know.
Yeah, because I don't know the card. Like I don't have inside info on that one, but I feel like there must be like either a title fight or like a known BTC name, like they're gonna bring over to BC to fight. But like I've been saying, that's people main event kind of shit. Your fight, man. Like, 2 of the best prospects in that division.
That's right. It'll be exciting.
Yup. So finally, I know like you guys, you don't want to look forward too much because you're fighting on June 5th, and you're gonna need all of your attention on that. But like without like going into I'm gonna beat this guy, and then I just wanted to know like what's the plan for 2021, like however it goes, because like you've been saying, things are starting to reopen. BFL, they're putting on events. BTC are putting on events. We've been looking at Unified. I know it's tougher in Alberta right now, but Unified, they're going to put on events too. You've got Fight Night who are probably going to start resuming, and that's the promotion you've been fighting for. So
I would love Fight Night to have a card.
Yeah.
But you're right. The Alberta restrictions have been really difficult for anyone to host an event. But no, so you're asking what my plans are after I abuse Josh?
Yeah.
Well, I would like to get my mojo back. I want to get my momentum rolling, fight a couple times this year. That'd be great. I have not been able to have that for since I think 2018 to have like a multiple fight year. And that's what the Wild thing needs. I've been super healthy. Like I put, my longevity or, just my recovery way up there is on my priority list with my training and all that stuff. So, it's your body that performs. So take care of the damn thing. And so I've been very healthy. I want to compete. I want to fight all these bad dudes who want to fight me too. I love that. Like Josh called me out. Josh, fresh after a win. I haven't done a damn thing in a year. Like that's been super frustrating for me, right? As far as, I don't want to say imposter syndrome, but just that, I'm a freaking MMA fighter. I need to fight, once a year. You got to exercise my demons. You know what I'm saying? But after this, you're right. The Unified card, I believe it's set for July. Hey, I hope they got my number. You know what I mean? That'd be great. That'd be a quick turnaround, right? From June to July. I hope it's late July. And then fight again in the fall, and then fight again in the winter. And you're right, yeah. I would love to get a strap around my waist. But yeah, you got to win in a promotion before they offer you that. Fight Night, if those guys would have an event, they have a freaking belt with my name on it, and anyways, so BTC, I'm very excited that they're giving me the opportunity, and I'm sure I'll make them very happy, very giddy with my performance. I sure hope so. And yeah, keep rolling with it. We'll see what happens in Canada. All these people are getting vaccines. This is great news. They say that's our freaking way out.
I guess.
Show me the needle. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm waiting. I'll be phase 3, phase 4. I'll be at the end of the line.
Yeah,
everyone go get your vaccine.
They're starting to open like my age bracket soon. I'd say, but not that soon. I think it's like 40 and it's 40 and over now. Yeah, 40 and over. And I'm 29, so it's coming quick. And like I don't like needles, man. I just don't like needles at all. I don't even go like for blood work. I fucking hate it, man. I don't want it.
Needles, it's part of the game, man. I gotta get blood taken 6 times a year.
Yeah, I know. You fighters, man. I fucking hate it. It's like one of the main reasons why
I donate blood too from time to time. I gotta share this tiger blood with some people.
No, of course.
Heal them up.
Like imagine you're super sick and like they're coming to you like, man, we got that good shit for you. We got that Lucas Neufeld blood.
Wild Things blood. That's right. I tell them, put a fucking special label on that, just so you know they're getting tiger blood.
Oh man, guys, like guys having sex with his wife, fucking elbowing her from the bottom. It's like, you're not gonna pass my guard.
Throwing bows. That's no guard passes tonight. You're staying in my guard.
Oh man. So you've got the final word, man. Anything you want to say? If you want like plug sponsors, gyms, anything you want to say, the floor is yours.
Man, I don't know, support your small businesses. All these crappy drive-thrus and corporations, they don't need your help. They don't need to stay open either, man. You're
100% right. You're 100% right on that one. Yeah.
Get a gym membership. If you don't have a gym membership, pick one up. Gyms need to stay open, man. We need those. That's essential to health and wellness. But no, I'm super excited to fight. Thank you, BTC. Thank you, Josh. Look forward to seeing you on the 5th. Thank you very much for this opportunity to chat with you. It was great. Just happy to do my thing, man. I'm really happy to be in fight camp again, pursuing my goals. That feels great. Feels good to have a purpose.
And we're happy to have you, man. Like I said, very young, good energy, good style of fights, and man, we can't wait. Like win or lose for that fight, you have bright things coming.
I bring it.
So man, thanks a lot for taking the time. And whenever, like, if you've got something you want to announce or you want to talk about or anything, just hit me up. And you always got a place on the podcast, my man.
Terrific. Thank you.
So have a
All
nice.
right, we'll be chatting again soon, man.
Of course, have a nice one, buddy.
Peace.
Bye.